What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Bleep and Bleep channel. Double A have here. I'm talking about none other than quote unquote King James, aka LeBron James, aka just a kid from Akron, aka the NBA's greatest politician of all time. Now look, LeBron is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. All right, obviously that's not even up for debate. Um, Not even up for debate. Now, he's definitely not the greatest basketball player of all time, especially in my opinion. But obviously, there are many out there that love to entertain that. And that's beside the point. LeBron James recently tweeted or Instagram, whatever. I don't even know the platform that he put forth the message. But he put forth a message pretty much saying that the NBA dropped the ball in terms of starting the season up when it did, and because of it, all the injuries are bad for the NBA. Now, obviously, from a one-dimensional level, I'm pretty sure most people are like, "Oh yeah, LeBron has a point, yada 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 yada." But look, before I even get into all of that, LeBron is, brothers. You ever come across a person that says something and you're like, you know what, that makes some sense, but I don't trust your ass, so I'm still gonna be looking at you kind of sideways because I think that there's something more to it as to why you're saying this. You know what I mean? That's just how LeBron is, like that sleazy fucking car salesman type dude. And I'm not trying to knock the guy as a person at all. LeBron, has done a lot of great things. I mean, a lot of it is for show and stuff like that, but it's still, and then brand building, but still, these are things that are done nonetheless. So I'm not going to try to take that away from anyone, let alone LeBron James. But again, LeBron is, that type of person where he says something, you just gotta look at him like, what's your agenda behind this? What's your motive behind this? Because there has to be one. LeBron James isn't someone that's just doing something without any reciprocation. You know what I mean? And most people aren't. Most people do things expecting something out of it. And that's I understand that. But especially LeBron James, we should know, like, there's something behind it. So I'm going to play the video real fast, and then I'm going to address it as it comes.
During his groin back in Game 4 of the Lakers' first-round series against the Suns, which caused him to miss Game.
I love this camera that they've been doing lately. I noticed the NFL was doing it, like, on the field, like this high-definition camera view and the angles and stuff like that. Just it makes you feel like you're right there. And then also the NBA has been doing it too, and I absolutely love it. Love it. I'm not sure if any of you brothers have been watching NFL games or NBA games. I do when I get time to, and that camera view is absolutely amazing. Love it.
5 and limited him to just over 5 minutes in Game 6. James Harden and Kyrie Irving have both missed time in the Nets series against the Bucks. Harden has returned. Kyrie remains out for tonight's Game 6. And then yesterday, we unfortunately found out that Kawhi Leonard would miss Game 5 against the Jazz with a...
Yeah, very unfortunate that Kawhi is going to be out for the remainder of the postseason, because in my personal opinion, the Clippers had the best team. Had the best team. Now, they weren't playing like the best team, but on paper, they have the best team, in my opinion. And I thought that they could definitely go toe-to-toe with Brooklyn if that were to be the matchup in the finals. So now that Kawhi is out, we know that it's almost all but over for the Clippers, because Paul George would have to play like he's never played in his goddamn life. Actually, I lied. When he was on pace to win MVP, he was playing great that one time. But again, like, I don't see that coming from him. All right, I just don't see it. And obviously, we know that Paul George is mentally weak, so I really don't see it. They may beat the Jazz and get out of this round, but I definitely don't see them beating the Suns. The Suns just got way too much for them. I'm not going to say it's going to be a sweep, because obviously the Clippers are a stacked team, in my opinion. You can't discount a Rajon Rondo, who should be receiving more playing time because of the Kawhi injury. You cannot discount a young, hungry Terrence Mann. You cannot discount Marcus Morris and Reggie Jackson, who are some veterans. So I'm not saying that they're going to get the brakes beat off of them. But I don't think that they'll beat the Suns in a 7-game series, not without Kawhi Leonard.
Right knee sprain, and the Clippers said there is no timetable for his return. Now, as the injury...
Yeah, so no, he's getting surgery on that. He has to get surgery on that. I forget exactly what the injury is called, but it's a significant injury, and he will be out. So obviously, I'm making this video after that information came out.
Injuries continue to pile up around the league, hindering several of the major stars in the playoffs. LeBron James went off on social media yesterday with a big "I told you so" rant for the NBA. Here's what he said. They all didn't want to listen to me about the start of the season. I knew exactly what would happen. I only wanted to protect the well-being of the players, which ultimately is the
LeBron James only wanted to protect the well-being of the players. See, again, like when certain people say things, you just say, nigga, please. Nigga, please. No. You wanted to protect yourself because you know that you're older. You know that you played, you've been playing. You only had one postseason off, and that's the year before last, right? Outside of that, you played every postseason. You know you're getting older. You know you're in the bubble, and you know it's a short turnaround. You know it's going to be a lot for you, and you also know that you're Robin. The Robin to you, your Batman, Anthony Davis, is fucking fragile like a piece of paper. So you knew. So that's first and foremost. So I don't want to hear you saying you care about the benefit of the goddamn players and stuff like that.
Product and benefit of our game. These injuries just isn't, quote, part of the game.
See, that part is true. That part is true. The injuries aren't just part of the game because we know that the turnaround has been short. But also, LeBron, you have to understand something. And I don't think LeBron, you know what? They always say this. When you're at the peak, you never see the end coming. You never see the end coming because you have to think about it like this. When you're on a roller coaster, right? And you're going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. You're not going straight up. You're going up at an angle, right? You're going up at an angle, right? And unless you're sitting at the front of the cart, you don't know when you're at the apex. But we all know that once you get to the apex, you come down, right? So LeBron is sitting at that like third seat on his roller coaster, and he doesn't understand. Well, he doesn't seem to understand that his time is over. The NBA is narrative driven. It's all narrative. And LeBron doesn't fit in the narrative anymore. So what better way for the NBA to showcase its new young talent by giving the new young talent a stage to showcase it on? Most of the teams that we see in the playoffs right now that are actually doing stuff weren't there last year. The Hawks weren't there last year. Young, fresh-legged. The Suns weren't there last year. Young, fresh-legged. Trae Young is making a huge name for himself right now in playoff basketball. Even if they don't beat the 76ers, they overachieved. And they opened up a lot of eyes. And his marketability just went up, even higher than it already was. Same for Devin Booker. Same. And all that is great for the NBA, LeBron. They're the future. You're not. So again, LeBron is seeming to come across as if he's unaware of his athletic mortality. And that's common. That happens with a lot of superstars in the history of sports.
The lack of pure rim rest before starting back up. 8, possibly 9 All-Stars have missed playoff games, most in league history. This is the best time of the year for our league, and our fans are missing a ton of our favorite players. It's insane. If there's one person that know about the body and how it works all year round, it's me.
So look, LeBron. Look, would I love to see Kawhi in the playoffs still with the Clippers? Yeah. Would I have loved to see what would have happened if Anthony Davis wouldn't have got hurt? Yeah, to a degree. But then again, you quit, LeBron. You quit, dude. You quit. You quit, bro. And you always quit. You put your head down and you quit. That, I think it was the last game or the second last game that you played against the Suns, and it was terrible. I just watched you passing out all the damn time. I said, dude, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, they didn't make the shots. Nigga, and then you shoot the damn shots. You can't go around saying that you're the goddamn GOAT and you can't fucking, win a game without Anthony Davis. You know what I'm saying? Like KD went out and did it the other night. Granted, he had James Harden on the floor. he wasn't really scoring, but we all know that James Harden is a huge threat. But still, the nigga came out and dropped 49. Should have been 50. And LeBron, you couldn't do that, dude. You did, I'm not gonna say you couldn't. You didn't do that. So I don't want to see your quitting ass anyway. Now back to everybody else. Look, man. Injuries are a thing. Jamal Murray was hurt, and again he played in the bubble tournament. He played in the playoffs last year. That could have been due to that. Or it also could have been just the way he played. Like, for instance, Derrick Rose, he played very, reckless, just jumping like that. And Jamal Murray, in college, I tore my ACL. And almost the same way Jamal Murray tore his. When I saw it, I was like, yep, that's an ACL tear. It's an ACL tear. There's just certain moves that I used to do playing ball. And then, again, in college, I just doing those moves, and then after that, I was like, I can no longer do those goddamn moves. And if you're gonna do it, you just gotta be real controlled, and that's just the way it is, But injuries are part of the game, and again, like LeBron said, those aren't part of the game because we all know why they came. But yes, LeBron, you also have to understand something. The NBA is losing money. Due in part because of your ass, nigga. Well, all this woke shit and say her name and all this, the Black Lives Matter bubble tournament, all that bullshit, that turns a lot of fans off, bro. A lot of fans off. So the NBA was going to start this season with or without you because the money, motherfucker. And you should know that, LeBron. I'm pretty sure you do know that because the money. Maybe LeBron don't care because he's probably like, I'm on my, like, how many more NBA contracts is he going to get? And he's in his endorsements money is through the roof. So he probably really don't give a fuck about that. But that's just the reality of it, man. The NBA is losing money. Losing money. People do not like all that woke bullshit. All right? Viewership is down. Okay? So LeBron's rant is kind of just like, I feel like he has to know better when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Now, like his athletic mortality, that thing I think that he genuinely is just being blind to. But everything else that he's saying, I'm like, yeah, LeBron, I don't think that you really don't understand what's going on here.
I speak for the health of all our players, and I hate to see this many injuries this time of year. Sorry, fans. Wish you guys were seeing all your favorite guys right now.
I'm pretty sure they are. KD's still playing. Harden's played. Embiid's played. Simmons played. Chris Paul's played. Booker's played. Giannis has played. There's still a lot of still a lot of people that played LeBron. So I don't know who the favorite guys that you're referring to. And if you're referring to yourself, then you should have picked your team up, put them on the back, and got out the damn first round. All right.
Okay, he had a lot to say, but Han, he does make a point. Did the NBA do a disservice to the players by starting them too soon and having that shortened offseason?
No, of course they didn't. Why? Because the union, which LeBron and all the players are a member of, were complicit. They agreed. They signed off on it. It's assumed liability. This is what you knew was going to happen, that it was going to be a short off season. You also had from March until July off as well. Let's not forget about that. Now, some of these injuries we're talking about, I don't know. Some of them you could say, are they conditioning injuries or are they just part of playing basketball? Are they bodies breaking down? I don't know. But I want to know who LeBron was talking to when he said that I told that nobody wanted to listen to me about this. Kawhi Leonard, his injury. The guy load manages all year. People criticize him for getting rest that he needs to get, that he feels he needs to keep himself at optimum levels. Did that work? The rest? So how much do we really want to blame this on them? It's just starting the season when they wanted to start, meaning the players first pushed the idea of starting the season around Martin Luther King Day, which would have been a great day to have the first game of the season.
Yeah, so anyway, I mean, I really don't feel like listening to all of this stuff, but, I made my points. But, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still interested in the playoffs. And I'm sure that most people that are following it are, because it is interesting, to see how far can the Hawks go, how far can the Suns go, the Nets versus the Bucks with no Kyrie, hobbled Harden. It's great. It's actually great games. And great storylines. And for instance, Doc Rivers is getting out coached by Nate McMillan. But then again, we already know, like, Doc Rivers, in my opinion, is one of the most overrated coaches of all time. Okay, one of the most overrated coaches of all time. He won one championship, and he won it with 3 Hall of Famers. Rondo's going to be a Hall of Famer, so 4 Hall of Famers. And then ever since then, he's been, letting people just come back. All the greatest comebacks have been on Doc Rivers. And the 76ers should have won that series. The last 2 games that they lost, they had no business losing those games. So, yeah, Doc Rivers is definitely overrated. And Nate McMillan is out coaching him. What other coaches things you got going on? Coach Bud over there in Milwaukee. He's had some glimpses where he's been okay, and then some other times, like, what the hell are you doing? How you let KD drop 49? Why don't you freaking have Giannis get on him and then lock up, build a wall like they do against Giannis? Because if KD is just going to try to keep getting to his sweet spots, turn him into nothing but a pure 3-point shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. Period. Not saying that he can't shoot threes, but I mean, you want to look, if he's going to keep getting to the lane, put you in foul trouble, and then just keep shooting free throws. I think I'd rather take my chances with him out there just shooting fucking threes. Because Giannis is a tall body out there that can be lengthy, and then could force him into some more difficult shots. But then and then also who else? Steve Nash. I think I need to see more coaching out of him. But then they're not really running that many plays, and then when they do run plays, and it turns back into an ISO. Now, that's the issue, I think, and that's the issue that I think a lot of us foresaw, that ISO ball kind of thing, especially with James and KD. It turns into ISO ball. I think when it was James and Kyrie in regular season, it wasn't that much ISO ball. I mean, it was, but not to this degree in the playoffs. Like, it's just purely ISO. Like I said, even when they run plays, the ball winds up back in one of their hands, and it turns back into an isolation situation. So, Steve Nash needs to do a better job at that. I think he needs to do a better job at actually calling some plays for some other players, because we know KD can get it. We know he can get it. We know James Harden, when he's cooking, he can get it. But let's call some plays for Joe Harris to get him going. Let's call some plays for Joe Harris to get him going. Obviously, I'm a New York Knicks fan. For those of you who don't know, but I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, so obviously, I would love a championship to come to Brooklyn. And if you're wondering or asking, well, why are you not a Brooklyn Nets fan? Well, because they just moved there. You know what I'm saying? When I was born, we only had the New York Knicks, and then it was the New Jersey Nets, and they moved to Brooklyn. So, had they been in Brooklyn from when I was born, I would probably most likely be a Brooklyn Nets fan. But that's not the case. So, I digress. They need to start calling some plays for Joe Harris, call some plays for Blake Griffin, because we definitely want Blake, on the run, pick and roll situations, not high pick and roll situations, maybe like some elbow pick and roll situations, get some lobs for him, even though, he doesn't jump like he used to, he still can get up there, and then that way, we can do the, get the crowd into the game, or take the crowd out the damn game, when you're in Milwaukee. Also, they could do the same thing with Jeff Green, because Jeff Green, pretty much him and Blake Griffin are kind of like the same goddamn player right now, except that Jeff Green's a better shooter. So I think Steve Nash needs to start coaching that team better, call some better play. But yeah, there's a lot that's going on in the NBA playoffs. So LeBron, you and his message can go kick rocks, man. Nothing against you as a player. You're a hell of a player, all time great. But this comes across as very just disingenuous, dude. But all right, y'all. Peace.